report. Somebody may publish something which may, like for instance, I've seen attacks on the person of the speaker, which I wouldn't do. People know how I campaign. I can be very abrasive. I also have an arsenal of offensive weapons. But also, I've now grown older. I'm not as abrasive. I have calmed down a bit. But these logos of the various political parties is not intended to mean that the parties have endorsed me. Otherwise, there would now be no election if that were the case. We still have to persuade each other. But I think your question begs one question. What is the way forward so that we choose the speaker in the most civil manner? Because if we continue the way we are continuing, by May, it will almost be like any other political campaign. Let me just propose to, particularly to the NRM, we need a conversation. And that's what I wrote to the president about. We need to talk. Because the issues I'm raising won't go away after voting the speaker. It will be, if you simply command NRM MPs and say whether you like it or not, you must vote someone who is a member of NRM. I think that would undermine the spirit of cooperation, and there are many people who still want to work with President Museveni. They are waiting to see how Mao is treated. So NRM is in a test. How are you treating the one who is inside there with you, moreover with a written agreement? Now, if those who are just going to take photos, how will they be treated? Already you hear some of the NRMs, they speak contradictory messages. 1 minute they say we have married people. So when you have married someone, you are now what? Then the next minute you are disowning DP just because of position of speaker. It means you are not serious. You cannot only say we are in a marriage when your interest is at stake. But when the interest of the other party is at stake, you say, this one is not part of the marriage. So, the next 5 years will be defined by how Mao is treated. How I'm treated. Again, you know I like telling stories because I grew in the village. That's where I was brought up. So let me tell you about the time the dog went to its aunt, the fox. The fox, the one called the chibe. Those who are being Baganda, the chibe. So the Mbwa and the chibe apparently are relatives. Then the dog in the bush and the dog at home. So now, say Mao is now the dog in the home. So Mao now is talking to those in the bush. Maybe the Nude and the others. So the dog went to its aunt, the fox, and said, Fox, I'm being treated very well actually now at home. And you are my aunt. Why don't you come? Come and stay at home. These people are not bad actually. They are good. Then the aunt says, let me first stand on this ant hill. You go and I see how you are welcome. So the dog went, moving around the house. And you know these grinding stones which they use for grinding simsim. Odi. So the dog sniffed it and was really tempted. So the dog licked it. So they got a big stick and beat the dog almost to coma. So the dog ran towards the ant. The ant didn't even wait. It just went further and further in the bush. So, I don't know whether now Norbert Mao aspiring to be speaker is like licking the grinding stone for Sim Sim. So, the foxes are watching how Mao is treated. So whatever unity President Museveni is trying to build can easily be unraveled by just how this thing is happening. Because all those who are peeping and watching and say, maybe the next 5 years we should really have consensus. Say, if Mao is being treated like this, then what about us? So the Chibe just took off, never to be seen again. So for those of you who are blessed to attend this press conference, know that this is the beginning of a more serious conversation than just about position of speaker. It's about the future of Uganda. You know, in my speech, the one I told you about in May 2006, I said something. I was quoting somebody who said about sharing power and resources. And he said, either we share power and resources or we shall share the country. So, I do not know why people join politics, but for me I joined politics for very different reasons. I joined politics for very serious issues. I know what it means to be poor. I know what it means to be broke. I know what it means to have money, what it means not to have money. I have experienced all that. So, this is not just about the position of speaker. This is about the destiny of the country. So those who are talking, I wish to warn those NRM members who are talking recklessly. They may be undermining something bigger than the position of speaker. Because everybody is now folding their hands and saying, let's see how seriously these people take those who they call the people they are cooperating with. So, if the one who has the wedding ring is not being treated well, then you who is just a visiting fellow, how will you be treated? So for me, I wanted us this morning to talk seriously about those matters. But if there is a belief that I don't qualify to be speaker, or if there's a belief that the position of speaker is not supposed to be talked about, we shall take note. And also see how to move. But I know that President Museveni cares about Uganda and its future, including its future beyond him, because Uganda is not going to end with him. We have had so far 9 presidents. How we shall get the 10th president depends on the national conversation. We are open to discussions, but like this gentleman asked, will I not be intimidated? Do I really have a record of running from battle? In fact, when I hear a fight, I go towards it. That's my nature. I've never retreated from a fight. Let's have a last question in English. Then we go to